Thank you.
Oh, she's got them back here. That's why I added 2 on 1, 2 on each row and kind of spread it out. Because that is. You're welcome. But they're welcome to move if they like. Yeah. Hi, Anthony. That's what I said. That's it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Is this live here?
Is this live? Uh-huh. The meeting? The meeting?
No, this.
Oh, the mic? Yes.
When you get to 4:2, I think it is, I'll come to the mic and do the introduction.
They actually want everybody to come to the mic so they can hear it through Zoom. Not quite. Mm-mm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Elizabeth, no, she's not here. I see Kim is here. Sam is here.
Okay, I'll
Yes,
call
we
the
do.
meeting of the commission to order. It's 3:30. Okay, before we take roll call, I just want you to all give yourselves a pat on the back and say, good job coming face to face. A pat on the back, Nancy Anthony. Give yourselves a pat. All right. Nita, take roll, please.
Alfred? Here. Anthony? Edmondson? Johnson? Luris? Leslie? Michaela? Patterson? Scamler? Shaw? Shockley? Smith? Tolan? Kane?
Here. Thank you, Nita. Nita is filling in today. As you can see, we've got Miss Maria socially distancing, so you can see her behind me on the screen. Just a couple of announcements today before we get started. First of all, I truly appreciate you all that felt able to join us in person today. That is huge. As you know, that order expired November 15th for governmental boards to be able to meet virtually. So some of you have contacted me about what do we need to do and what we need to do. The governor can call a special meeting. That's all it takes for them to extend that November 15th sometime into 2021. But it takes legislative action for us to be able to meet virtually. So I'm not going to be political right now. I'm just letting you know that's what needs to happen. Read between the lines. Okay. Other announcements for today, we have a microphone set up here. We have wipes set up here. So anytime you want to speak, such as Dennis doing our finance today, Sharice, You all, when you have a report, you all will come to the microphone. When you are finished, if you will take the wipe and wipe down the podium and the microphone, that would be great. We want to make sure we stay as safe as we can. When you make a motion or a second, because masks, we're safe, but it's muffled. If you would raise your hand so that then we will know who to put in the minutes, that would really help Nita out. Also, if you have a question during any of our agenda items today, we're asking you to come to the microphone. Part of this is so that, as a body, we need to be open to the public to attend our meetings. And so this way, everyone that's joining us on Zoom will be able to hear that question. Also, we're asking commissioners not to sign into Zoom, okay? I'm not sure why. I forgot the reason why, but.
Feedback.
Do what?
Feedback.
Oh, feedback. That's right. I knew there was a reason. Feedback. Okay. And then when you ask a question, I will repeat the question so that it can be heard by our viewing audience. Are we good? Everyone feeling good? Okay. Thumbs up if you feel safe in here. Thumbs up. Okay. Thank you. It is really, this is our biggest space that's not being used to store furniture, right? So thank you very much for being here. And remember what I said earlier about how to make virtual meetings happen again. Okay, so 2.1, introduction of library manager. So picture that we're at the new Bethany Library, and welcome to Rondia Banks, the library manager.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you great, and you look great too.
Oh, thank you. That's the power of Zoom. When you click in, you can go, make me look better. Hey, so I bring you greetings from the Bethany Library. Last year, when we had the honor of hosting you, you were in our beautiful new facility. We had just grand opened, and we got to show you around. This year, it's a little bit different. In December of 2019, January, February, all of our community got to come in and we were functioning as a normal library would, and then COVID happened. So I want to take a moment here just to say thank you. Thank you to you, the commission members, to you, especially Larry and the executive team, our administration, our public services leadership team, all of you who have ever had any discussions, have made any decisions, or who have put out directives to help us during this COVID time. I want to say thank you. We at the Bethany Library feel very supported with all of our PPE equipment, our masks, our gloves, and our sneeze guards. We're doing our absolute very best to serve our community and our customers, but keep ourselves safe at the same time. So thank you for your role in helping keep us safe. So COVID has created an interesting environment where we have had to be very creative in how we engage with our community and our customers. Rocket Readers happens to be one of our biggest in-person programs that has gone on for a long time. And Rocket Readers is where a student can come in and sit down with a volunteer in the library and they can read together and have literacy skills. Well, this year we have learned how to do Rocket Readers virtually. And I have a very fun story for you. One of our first meetings in a virtual world with Rocket Readers, we experienced a young student from California who introduced us to Tumble Books. And I'm going to share my screen so that you could possibly see what I'm talking about. And there, that is not Tumble Books. Let's see. This is Tumble Books. Can you see it okay?
Yes, we got it. Looks good.
Fantastic. So Rocket Readers in the virtual world can have a book from one of our databases so that the student and the teacher can see it at the exact same time. And then they can read together. So I was trying to get the sound off. So that is going very, very well. Then we had to get extremely creative with story times because we couldn't have story times in our library. So this year we did a story walk where customers could come outside our library and get on our beautiful sidewalks and experience a story that we have put on our windows. And in October, we did a spooky story called Scaredy Snacks, where at the very end, there's a crime committed. And so it's kind of fun to see the customers and the students come through. We've also had to get very, very, very creative and with our makerspace. And this is our makerspace right here. So we have created Studio Saturdays where, and the film will come there, where we sit down in our space and we interact with students and customers to teach them Tinkercad, where they can learn how to take shapes and create objects. And then they can upload their Tinkercad finished product and we will 3D print it for them. And then they can come and pick it up, curbside service. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So those are a couple of ways that we've had to get very creative with interacting with our community and our customers. And it seems to be that our customers are very responsive. We make about 50 craft kits, and this is an example of a craft kit that we're getting ready to make for December, where we provide them with the instructions and the how-to, and we provide them with the materials. And it's so much fun to see them come back in and go, look what I made because you did this for me. So I do want to welcome you to your November 2020 commission meeting. And I am so looking forward to next year when we get to host you again. Hopefully you will get to be in our beautiful facility again. Until then, I personally wish you happy holidays because November and December and January is coming up. Wish you to stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy every experience, and especially enjoy your library experience. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's give Rhonda a big hand. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you. Okay, the rest of 2.1, we have 5 new commissioners, and some of them I know are joining us face-to-face in here today. Rachel Johnson, is Rachel here? There's Rachel on the front row, and she replaces Helene Hartman. So Rachel, we're glad you're here. Let's give her a big hand. And then Elizabeth Larios replaces Mary Sosa. Is Elizabeth with us today? There she is, front row. Good to see you. Mr. DJ Morgan replaces Pete White. I can't remember, I don't think DJ could be in here today, right? Okay, couldn't join us today. Leah Rubio replaces Cindy Friedemann. Is Leah in here today?
No, but she's
No?
on via Zoom.
She's on
But
via
she's
Zoom.
not
So
involved.
welcome to Leah. And then Craig Woodruff, he comes to us from the Endowment Trust, right? I think he was on the trust, right, on the trust. And he replaces Hugh Rice. So let's give all our new commissioners a big hand. Thank you so much. Okay, our next item is our presentation of certificates for library staff. And one thing differently, are there pictures going to scroll up here now?
Not for sure.
Are there pictures scrolling? For
We're
today?
not going to have it until
No?
the next
Okay.
one.
Okay, what we're going to do, we'll call these names out, but obviously we didn't want to ask these recipients to be here today just because of trying to socially distance our large commission. So going forward, you will see their faces scrolling back behind. And we will also scroll all of our recipients since February because bless their hearts, That's how long we were doing virtual. But, you know, this is a big deal, the longevity of our employees. So I'll just call these names out and we'll give a big hand at the very end. Natasha Parker is Teen Librarian 1 at Almani, 5 years. Rebecca Benzinger, Access Specialist, Bethany, 5 years. Sally Gray, Youth Engagement Specialist 2 at the Village, 15 years. Tulin LaFollette, Adult Engagement Specialist 2 at Midwest City, 15 years. Kelly Rhea, Outreach Engagement Specialist 2 in the Outreach Department, 20 years. Derry Breathwaite, Adult Engagement Specialist 2, Southern Oaks, 20 years. And Elizabeth Kessler, Human Resource Coordinator in the Human Resources Department, 20 years. Let's give all of these people a big hand and thank you. So Larry will make sure they get their certificates in a socially distanced way, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Nita, did we have any comments from the public that I need to read today?
No, we sure don't. But may I ask Mike if you would log off of Zoom and log into Board Docs?
Okay,
Yes.
okay, thank you. Okay, let's see, public comment. So now the consent docket, I'll entertain a motion to approve consent items 3.1 to 3.3. Okay, Nancy Anthony made the motion, seconded by Penny. Okay, any questions, conversation about anything on the consent docket, anything you want pulled for separate consideration? Okay, then Nita, let's call roll.
Alfred,
Aye.
Anthony? Yes. Edmondson? Yes. Johnson? Yes. Loris? Leslie? Yes. Michaela? Yes. Patel?
Yes.
Patterson? Yes. Scamler?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Shockley? Smith?
Yes.
Tolan?
Aye.
Kane?
Yes. Okay, 4.1, discussion, consideration, possible action, Executive Committee, November 11th. Those minutes were in your packet. Any questions about our Executive Committee meeting from this month? Okay, so need to take roll. Let's vote on them, please, to accept them.
We don't have to.
We don't have
do
to
that
vote?
For the executive minutes.
We
need
just
to do it
accept them
for
as
the-
read?
For
Okay.
the, we need to do it for the audit and to approve the
Okay.
recommendation
Okay,
of the policies.
right. Okay, so 4.2, discussion, consideration, possible action, report and recommendations from our Finance Committee from November 18th. So look, he's already up there. Go for it, Dennis.
All right.
You rock.
The Finance Committee met yesterday in this room, and we have two general recommendations. The first is the approval of the, we're recommending approval of the annual audit by our public accountant firm, Finley and Cook of Shawnee, Oklahoma. And secondly, we're recommending the revisions on 3 finance procedures that we also revised during our meeting yesterday. There are members of the Finance Committee here that may want to speak as well. However, we'll start with Dan Bledsoe, is the principal who spoke with us yesterday, and we have him on Zoom, and he's going to give a similar presentation to what he gave yesterday. And then when we have some Q&A, then the second item, Sharice Dye will come forward and we'll cover those items.
Okay. Thank you, Dennis. Okay, Mr. Bledsoe, welcome to the first face-to-face commission meeting.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you great.
Okay, great. Was mentioned earlier, I met yesterday with the Finance Committee and went over the overall audit results, but kind of hit on a few of the highlights, and then we'll open it up for some questions if anybody has any. But this was, of course, the library's June 30, 2020 financial statement audit. and we issued an unmodified or clean opinion on the financial statements, basically meaning they are presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. For 2020, there were no new accounting standards, GASB standards that had to be adopted for the year. We kind of discussed yesterday, GASB has been pretty active and has put several new accounting standards out, but most of those will be a few years out before they have to be adopted. There will be one next year, GASB 84 will be a little bit significant that we'll work with Sharice in getting implemented. And then 2 years out, there's one GASB 87 related to lease accounting, which is will be fairly significant as well. So we'll definitely want to get a head start on that next year, but it'll be 2 years out before the library actually has to adopt that to within its financial statements. A couple of the key things we also discussed yesterday with the Finance Committee in terms of performing the audit. Did not have any difficulties in working with management in terms of getting the information that was requested to do our test work. They were responsive to our audit inquiries. Reports and schedules, everything like that. We needed to get copies of invoices, bank statements, investment statements, all that type of stuff that we request. And we asked obviously for quite a bit of stuff going through the process, but they were cooperative in getting that to us. Also in terms of disagreements with management and as far as presentation of the financials or specific accounting transactions, did not have any issues from that front. So once again, especially with all the considerations of COVID-19 for this year and some of the challenges that are involved with that, we were very pleased with the cooperation of management in doing the audit work. A couple other key items to touch on: did not have any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies in internal control to report this year. Also, no fraud issues noted in our test work or violations of laws or regulations. So overall, a clean audit process. And once again, we appreciate your finance staff and as well as everybody that we work with in doing the audit process. So with that, I'll kind of open it up and see if any of the commissioners have any specific questions about the audit.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Bledsoe? If you do, if you'd please come to the microphone. I think you got off easy today. I think they don't want to wipe down the microphone. I think that's it.
Could be. It's a long walk up there. Well, that's where I was at.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate all your hard work.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys.
So this is coming out of a committee, so that does not need a motion or a second. So Anita, let's take the vote, please.
Alfred? Anthony? Yes. Edmondson? Yes. Johnson? Yes. Loris? Aye. Leslie? Yes. Michaela? Yes. Patel?
Yes.
Patterson? Yes. Shaw? Aye. Shockley? Yes. Smith? Yes. Tolan? Aye. Kane?
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I was supposed to be repeating the motion. So the motion to accept the audit is approved. I don't know, 14-0, 5-0? I mean, 15-0? What was it? How many do we have here today, Nita?
15.
Okay, thanks. This is so weird, sorry. Okay, now we're on the second part that Dennis talked about with the 3 policies. So Sharice, you're gonna explain the changes? Okay. Look at that.
He beat me. All right, so we have, so we've been tasked as has all of senior management been tasked with reviewing all of the policies and procedures in our respective area and making sure that they're current and up to date. So we took the 3 financial policies that needed some revision to the Finance Committee yesterday, and I'll go over those 3 revisions that we're looking at today. We're looking at the purchasing policy, SF 200, and in that you'll see housekeeping changes to update the titles. We changed to what we're already doing in operations to reflect in the policy is having the 2 signers on every disbursement rather than the 2 levels of disbursements. And now that that's electronic, that's kind of facilitated by our electronic accounting process. And then we're also yesterday decided under C5 to add executive director and the commission instead of just commission. So when we have those go forward, they'll go to the executive director first, and then we bring them to the commission on that note. On SF 300, that is really just straight housekeeping and title changes, so not a lot to see there. And then in SF 800, the inventory policy, the primary change there was the capitalization policy is increasing from $500 to $1,000 to be in line with what is the new rule promulgated by the governor in July of 2020. And then we moved all of the procedures out of the 800 document and moved them into 800.1. So as we have done in the past, some of the policies and procedures were kind of blended on the same document. So all that is we're moving all of those things that you see eliminated. Those are moved into the procedure document 800.1, and just the policy remains. Any questions?
Questions for Sharice? Okay, once again, thank you, Sharice. This comes out of committee, so it does not need a motion or second from the group. So Nita, would you call roll, please?
Alfred.
Aye.
Anthony. Yes. Edmondson. Yes. Johnson. Yes. Loris. Aye. Leslie. Yes. Michaela. Yes. Patel.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Scamler.
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes.
Shockley.
Aye.
Smith.
Yes.
Tolan.
Aye.
Kane.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. And thanks to our auditor, thanks to Sharice, thanks to Dennis and his finance committee. We appreciate you all. Okay, next on the agenda, 5.1, resolution of appreciation. So just to let you know, last time we read a resolution for an outgoing commissioner, and today we have 3 more. And the first one I'm going to read is in honor of Helene Hartman. So for those of you that are new to the commission, this resolution will be printed and framed, and then we give it to the commissioner when they are outgoing. So I know, Larry, you're going to take care of probably Maria and Nita, right? You will. You'll safely give it to them to make sure they get them. We just appreciate all the hard work that goes into being a commissioner. So first of all, for Helene, whereas Miss Helene Hartman was appointed to the Metropolitan Library Commission of Oklahoma County in December of 2010 by Mayor Mick Cornett of the City of Oklahoma City and has continued to serve as a member for 10 years. And whereas she has served as a member of the Library Commission's Administrative and Personnel Committee from 2011 through 2020. And whereas she has demonstrated her support and been an advocate for library service to the community and a great supporter of library customers and staff during her tenure. And whereas her devotion and commitment to the community have been demonstrated by outstanding attendance at commission and committee meetings, and also by her attendance at many library events and activities, now therefore be it resolved that the Metropolitan Library Commission of Oklahoma County recognizes and commends Miss Helene Hartman for her distinguished service on the commission and her continuing dedicated support of library services for all of the people of Oklahoma County. Approved this 19th day of November 2020 by the Metropolitan Library Commission of Oklahoma County. Nancy made the motion, seconded by Beth. Any other conversation? Okay, Nita?
Alfred.
Aye.
Anthony.
Yes.
Edmondson.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Loris.
Aye.
Leslie.
Yes.
Michaela.
Yes.
Patel.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Scamler.
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes.
Shockley.
Aye.
Smith.
Yes.
Tolan.
Aye.
Kane.
Yes. So is Helene on Zoom? Is she on Zoom today?
No.
No? Okay. Let's give Helene a big hand anyway. Okay, our second commissioner going off is Pete White. And I know Pete's not in here. Is he on Zoom?
No.
Okay. So how about I do it the correct way? How about we vote to accept and then I'll read it and recognize? That'd be all right? Okay. Okay, Nancy's going to be our standing motion person. Motion's made by Nancy, seconded by Brian Alford. Any conversation? Okay, Nita, call the roll.
Yes, ma'am. Alford. Anthony. Edmondson. Johnson. Loris. Leslie. Michaela. Patel.
Yes.
Patterson. Scammler.
Yes.
Shaw. Shockley. Smith. Tolan. Kane.
Yes.
Can we approve all of them and then read them all? Can we do that?
Well, we just have one more left,
Okay.
but that was a good idea.
Like we do these on a voice
Do you-
vote.
Okay, so Nancy made the motion to approve Hugh Rice's resolution and seconded by Judy, sorry, by Judy. Any conversation?
I think we use Franny, we should make it bigger.
Are you going to pay for that, Matt? Okay. Nita, call roll, please.
Alford. Anthony. Edmondson. Johnson. Loris. Leslie. Michaela. Patel.
Yes.
Patterson. Scammler. Shaw. Shockley. Smith. Tolan. Kane.
Yes. Okay. So, yes.
I'd just like to comment that on Hughes, one page wasn't nearly enough to describe his contribution to the commission or the library system. This man has just made an outstanding
Mhm.
contribution and improvement to the system in his 26 years here. And we just can't express enough how much we appreciate his service.
Yeah, thank you, Judy. Yeah, so for Mr. Pete White, whereas Mr. Pete White was appointed to the Metropolitan Library Commission of Oklahoma County in August of 2017 by Mayor Mick Cornett of the City of Oklahoma City and has continued to serve as a member for 3 years. And whereas he has served as a member of the Library Commission's Administrative and Personnel Committee from 2017 through 2020, and whereas he has a long history serving the people of Oklahoma City, having served on the City Council for 19 years, and has demonstrated his support and been an advocate for library service to the community and a great supporter of library customers and staff during his tenure. And whereas his devotion and commitment to the community have been demonstrated by his attendance at commission and committee meetings and also by his attendance at many library events and activities. Now therefore be it resolved that the Metropolitan Library Commission of Oklahoma County recognizes and commends Mr. Pete White for his distinguished service on the commission and his continuing dedicated support of library services for all of the people of Oklahoma County. Approved this 19th day of November 2020 by the Metropolitan Library Commission of Oklahoma County. Let's give Pete a big hand. What a great servant. Okay, and now last but not least, is Hugh watching today?
No, ma'am.
Well, man, okay. I know.
So then maybe it's just like, and then there's you.
Thanks, Brian. Okay, whereas Mr. Hugh Rice was appointed to the Metropolitan Library Commission of Oklahoma County in April of 1992 by Mayor Ron Norick of the City of Oklahoma City and has continued to serve as a member for 28 years. And whereas he guided the Metropolitan Library Commission of Oklahoma County as its elected chair from January 2005 through January 2010. And whereas during his time as chair, he led the library system through a period of strong growth and development of library facilities and services and a major expansion of the Library Commission. And whereas he has served the commission on a variety of committees, including finance, long-range planning, public service, library retirement pension board, executive director search, administrative and personnel, and numerous TIF district committees. And whereas he has been a strong advocate for outstanding library service to the community and a great supporter of library customers and staff during his tenure. His devotion to the community has been demonstrated by outstanding attendance at commission and committee meetings and by his attendance at many library events and activities. Now therefore be it resolved that the Metropolitan Library Commission of Oklahoma County recognizes and commends Mr. Hugh Rice for his distinguished service on the commission and his continuing dedicated support of library services for all the people of Oklahoma County, approved this 19th day of November 2020 by the Metropolitan Library Commission of Oklahoma County. Those three were great public servants. So to our newbies, you got big shoes to fill, and we are so glad you're here, and we're going to support you and help you, but you can see who you're following and what a great legacy we have here. Okay, item 6.1, learning and development pandemic efforts. Larry.
At this time, I would like to introduce Melissa from Learning and Development, and she will tell us about some of the new developments that are going on.
Great. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Dr. Kane. Can you all hear me okay?
We can.
Great. I want to thank you all for allowing me to take a few minutes of the Commission's time to share Learning and Development's journey with our staff dealing with the pandemic. I'm going to share my screen, so you'll have to let me know if you can see it. Let's see. Are you able to see it at this point?
Yes, looks great.
Okay, thank you. I'm calling it a journey because in great reflection of where we've been over the last 6 to 7 months, I think it's been a journey for many of us, whether it's the way that our work life has changed, our home life has changed, even our mental thought process during this pandemic. So, you know, COVID swooped in and took over the world. And what I want to share with you is a brief timeline and then expand just a little bit and then allow for any questions that you may have. So on March 16th, the library closes due to COVID-19. 1 month later, staff, for the first time ever, are allowed access to their MLS email and our learning management system, which is where we house all of our training opportunities, and we call that EduBright. On that very same day, when staff were given access, Learning and Development began to think about and try to strategize on ways that we could help staff become a more agile workforce in this pandemic time, as it was all new to everybody. The following Tuesday, we launched Technology Training Tuesdays. For a lot of us, Zoom and Microsoft Teams is brand new, and conducting meetings and participating in meetings has been somewhat challenging. So we began offering Tuesday workshops. On May 4th, we start bringing staff back in and opening up in various stages, starting with our curbside service. On May 14th, Learning and Development publishes our first external or remote professional development newsletter for staff. On the 18th, as more and more staff are beginning to come back and we're serving customers in our community again, we are focusing on the importance of safety. And so we launched several COVID-19 safety trainings for all staff. On May 18th, we conduct our very first virtual Zoom leadership meeting, and we have about 90 members of our leadership team that serve the system, and so we did our first virtual Zoom exchange meeting. Now, between May 19th and September 1st, what L&D focused on was transitioning all of our in-person classes, and we typically offer about 60 to 80 in-person trainings to staff on skills and soft skills, technical skills, dealing with services that they offer to customers into an online format, because really what happens is our virtual world is becoming a reality for a lot of us. So briefly on the Training Tuesdays, as I mentioned, we saw that a lot of leaders, locations, all across the system were beginning to use Zoom and Microsoft Teams. So we created and conducted virtual training Tuesdays from May to June, and we focused primarily on these two types of technologies. We had about 102 staff members attend our virtual Microsoft Teams workshops. We had about 202 staff members attend our virtual Zoom workshops. We also did a wonderful Microsoft Planner workshop dealing with project planning. And then we also utilized lynda.com, or what is now LinkedIn Learning, and staff took advantage of those online, totally online resources. So totality, we trained 284 unique users on these two types of technologies as our main focus, to help give them the skills they need, not only to attend the meeting, but to conduct meetings effectively across the system. We did develop a remote professional development opportunity newsletter, and I'm going to click on this link. I don't know if it's going to open. You'll have to tell me. Did it flip for you all to a newsletter? Okay, thank you for the head nods. I appreciate that. What this is we were highlighting not only our internal databases, but what I found through various people sending me emails is that library systems across the country are all moving virtual now. And they're offering virtual webinars, virtual seminars, virtual conferences, all free. And so this external newsletter focuses on workshops and professional development opportunities by other library systems that staff could take advantage of during, with supervisor approval, of course. And I'm going to switch back and see if it takes me back to my presentation. Am I back into my presentation? Thank you, Rhonda. So as a result of this newsletter, we've always had staff attend conferences, workshops, and roundtables. But as a result of the 12 publications that we did over the summer months, while we still had staff doing some telework and coming in to the building, our numbers doubled. We were averaging about 142 pre-COVID, and as a result of the newsletter, staff took advantage of 286 additional professional development training opportunities. So we saw that double, which was pretty exciting. We also promote internal. We have lynda.com, which was purchased by LinkedIn, and that's actually incorporated into our learning management system. So we have a little over 11,000 courses in our learning management system for staff to access, and those were also promoted. We gained access to email and EduBrite in April, and as you can see in May, while people were still trying to manage and figure out our processes and had a little bit of downtime and we were reopening, we had 386 completions of professional development. It's kind of trickled down a little as we've gone into different phases, and staff are, the serving customers is at the forefront, but we're averaging at about 150 completions of professional development on various topics. And so that's also exciting. One of the most important things I think that we have done is workplace safety for staff as they begin to return to work and help them be safe. So one of the first initiatives is learning and development worked extensively and collaborated with human resources. And I developed a COVID-19 safe workplace practice online workshop for staff to take. I was also able to find 2 additional trainings on personal protective equipment and personal protective equipment types of gloves. And these are both relevant to our staff. They talk about cloth face coverings, wearing gloves, using cleaning supplies, wearing goggles when using cleaning supplies, and just general PPE and safety. So as a result of these 3, all staff went through. These have now also been added into our new employee orientation. So any new staff member coming on board also takes these 3 additional safety classes to set the expectations and to keep them safe. We continue to research and look for classes online that staff can take advantage of. I think one of our most popular ones was the American Libraries Association, Customers Without Masks, Simple Strategies that Get Customers to Follow Your COVID-19 Policies. This was particularly beneficial because it talks about how to deal with public, verbiage to use, and how to not create a bad situation. And as of today's date, we've had 218 staff members complete this optional training that was purchased. I mentioned that we went, our first leadership meeting was virtual, very similar to what the commission does. We hosted one in the morning and one in the afternoon and had about 45 attendees. Leaders were allowed to ask questions ahead of time through a survey, and also during the Zoom session. Our first second quarter exchange topic was on the pandemic, and then our most recent one was on leadership change. So, and the best thing I think about this was these were recorded and they were uploaded into EduBright, and all staff have the opportunity to view these recorded sessions about the roundtable that happened during these exchange meetings. And so we hope to move, we will continue moving forward until given a directive otherwise. The feedback was very favorable. The 45 leaders aren't having to drive, it saves time, so there's some benefit to that as well. The last thing I want to share with you is probably one of L&D's biggest undertakings is the transition from going face-to-face. As Dr. Kane mentioned in the meeting process, having a face-to-face class versus an online class is drastically different. So we worked extensively with the manager of access, the collection development manager, and also the collection development librarian, and we transitioned all face-to-face classes into an online format, trying to create a format that was collaborative, informative, and where we could ensure that their needs were getting met and the information was getting across. And we have plans to continue our online format due to the COVID situation. We have a shelving workshop series coming up, a Dewey Decimal workshop coming up, and a Weeding 2.0 that will also offer online, and it's been very receptive by staff. To get ready for this, the last thing that I'll mention is that we have had to kind of retrain and retool our system trainers. We offered a special train the trainer to get staff. When you train in person or talk in person, it's drastically different than online. So conducting, facilitating, creating engagement, as well as using technology while you're doing all this. And so those system trainers were trained as well. Those are a couple of highlights that I wanted to share that we've kind of been working on. My goal, of course, as we move forward is to try to be innovative like many other departments are doing and library locations are doing to serve customers, and to find ways that I need to pivot and our department needs to pivot to meet the needs of the system and to support staff during COVID as we transition in and out of phases. That is all I have. I'll try to stop sharing my screen. I'll entertain any questions that you might have.
Melissa, great report. Thank you for all you and your department are doing to keep our people's skills up during all this craziness. Any commissioner have a question for Melissa? No? Let's give Melissa a big hand. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to share. I appreciate your time today.
Okay. And then Larry, you want to talk about our two reports there, the usage reports?
Yes. As you can see, our numbers are being greatly impacted by COVID. All of the in-person activities have been greatly decreased from the previous year. But you will also note that we are running about 75–80% of circulation right now, in spite of our COVID reactions and being curbside and other things. We're still getting 75–80% of the activity that we were getting pre-COVID. So our circulation has picked up quite a bit from our opening, and we're still holding that pretty consistent. So we're still doing programming, but we're doing it now virtual. Being that we can't do it in person, all of our programming and the attendance for programming is being recorded through that virtual process. We've just been getting started, and we've got people from a multitude of different places from throughout the library system that are coming together to provide that programming. Some of our programming picks up thousands of hits and thousands of views within a matter of several hours. So our programming in the virtual world is doing very well, and that is an area in which we're going to continue to grow. You will also note our electronic resources. Our audiobooks, our electronic database, all of that activity has gone up. We're up about 25% over last year. We've made an effort to market that information and to make it more readily available to the public, and the public are certainly taking advantage of it. And in fact, as I mentioned in my interim executive report, that we are creating a new commercial to help market our homework help, because we have so many students that are home, so many parents that need the help. We have a multitude of databases and other electronic resources that can assist with that. And so we're going to be running commercials on radio, TV, putting out information online to help people find those resources to use. So those are my kind of major comments for the statistical data. In the places that we can get the activity done pretty close to where we were doing it, we're doing reasonably well, 75, 80% of the activity. A lot of our activity otherwise has been transitioned to virtual, and we're growing that opportunity.
Okay, questions for Larry? I just want you to know Larry is doing an amazing job as our interim executive director. He sends so many communications out to our almost 500 employees. Just give me just a second, Mac. Thank you. Keeping them posted on, what he and his people are doing to make sure the libraries are safe for not only our visitors, but also for our employees. And then when things pivot a little, he sends another statement out to everybody explaining, and he's handled questions from the public very well. He's very calm, and you're just the right person for handling crazy COVID right now, Larry. So can we give Larry a big hand and just say appreciate it? Thank you so much.
I have a really great team that really does all this. I'm just kind of floating around. The team that I have, the senior management group, the leadership team, and the people throughout the system, they're the ones that are making all this lovely work go on. I'm just simply reporting the good word.
Well, it takes someone at the top, though, that isn't crazy, right? And stays calm.
Well, I don't know. In these times, it might be an
guide,
asset.
So thank you. Mac, you have a question for Larry? Oh, wait, sorry, Mac, you got to come up to the microphone. And then don't be moaning at me. And then you need to wipe everything down when you leave, please. Come on. Because we want our people on Zoom to hear. All right? It's not me trying to be mean to you.
Yeah, I know. Revenge, right? Okay, so I have a little concern about our seniors because it's public, and they're vulnerable right now, and so do we have a pickup where we could drop them off at their homes or wherever they are if we needed that to do? Do you ever think about that kind of stuff?
We do.
Our customers who can't get out of the nursing homes or wherever they are.
We do think of those things, but the problem is that the institutions that you're referencing do not want contact.
Okay.
They do not want anyone coming in out of COVID concerns. And so many of the places that we serve, what we've had to do is we serve them through on-site libraries where we provide collections of material so they don't have to go anywhere. And what we do is periodically, every 6 to 8 weeks, we swap that collection out to give them a new collection of materials to work with. And we are able to make that change safely, because what we do is we deliver that collection on a book cart. And so we can roll the book cart up. The people that we're collecting the materials from have their book cart. They roll that material out. We swap the book carts outside so that our staff does not enter their facility, and we don't have any additional risk of activity of interaction between our staff. And then we go back to the next location where we do that. And we have about 100 of those places scattered out throughout the county that we're going to right now.
Okay. And I have another question.
Sorry, Matt, can you talk in the microphone, please?
Okay.
Thank you, dear.
I have another question, and that is for you, Larry. How do you get your information about COVID? Like how it's progressing? I mean, who tells you, or how do you find out how to steer the ship?
I have a multitude of sources. I look at 5 predominant places online to get information: the state health department, the county health department. I look at the Johns Hopkins. I look at several other places, and I look at all of those different trends and data going up over time. I also am connected to the governor's office and the mayor's office when they send out COVID releases and updates. I'm on their warnings list. Many of our staff are also on warning lists and different developments with the CDC and other places. So that information gets filtered up. So we're getting information from a wide latitude of places on almost a daily basis of what is going on. And I look to see the larger trends. That's part of the reason why we've not made real serious knee-jerk reactions to anything. There was a period here a few weeks ago where they dropped the COVID level from orange to yellow, which lasted like an entire 5 days. And they turned around and went back. And I am trying to make our decisions based on long-term trends in the data and not to make snap decisions based on short-term interval.
Okay. Thank you, Larry. I just wanted to make
You need to wipe down
I did.
and talk in the microphone. If you're still talking, you gotta be on the microphone.
Okay. All right, I'm done. Thank you, Larry. All right.
Thank
I'm
you,
used
Mac.
to this because my wife does this.
Oh, now go sit down. Okay. Thank you, Mac. Okay, the next item, sorry. You see in the report, you've got the media blurbs in there that we always put out. And so thanks to Kim and the rest of the media department. I forgot the person's name in media now.
The new person is Morgan Day.
Yes, thank you to Morgan too. That's always good to see our libraries promoted out in the media. So the next is comments by the commission. Any commissioner want to have anything? I'm sorry? Oh, I skipped your report. See, Mac, you messed me up. I'm gonna blame it on Mac. Go ahead. I'm so sorry, Larry.
That's okay.
You should go, Ann, wait a minute. Feel free.
It's all right.
It's okay.
I don't get real upset.
You're so awesome. Go for it.
Besides the report that I've already provided you, I've got 2 additional kind of new things I want to make sure I share with you. Metropolitan Library System was recently just awarded 2,700 flower bulbs from the Oklahoma City Community Foundation as part of our Rebloom Oklahoma initiative. The bulbs are going to be planted by volunteer teams at all of the community library locations, as well as Southern Oaks, Bethany, War Acres, Belle Isle, Ralph Ellison, and the Villages.
Who's doing that?
That is a grant from the Oklahoma City Community Foundation, and it's being done by
Nice.
volunteers from the library.
Nice. We might know someone at that foundation.
65,000 that are being distributed as we speak.
Wow. So before Nancy bugs out, just so everyone on Zoom hears, 65,000. Wow, very
Yeah.
cool. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, thank you, Nancy. You have been on the commission, how many years now? 43? So I didn't want to call her out. She kind of has seniority.
But having said that, this is part of our effort to say, hey, everybody needs to do something together outside. So we thought, well, let's plant flower bulbs and now give everyone something to look forward to in April and May. So
Nice.
we really appreciate the library stepping up and helping us, because hopefully come April and May, all these daffodils are going to bloom all over town. So that's what it's about. And I think the library's been a great partner in doing that. So thank you very much.
Oh.
And I didn't want to take the time to do this before, but to the new members of the commission, you got some big shoes to fill with these 3 people that left. They were all really outstanding. and very, very made incredible contributions. So we
Yeah.
look forward to everybody being here. Thank you.
Let's give Nancy and the foundation a big hand. Thank you. Very cool.
The other news item that I want to add is I want to make sure that the commission is aware that we have an access to services policy, which is AS 530, which details out the operating hours for the library system. And with the exception of established holidays and staff development days, it illustrates that the library is open which days of the week and how many hours per day. Right now, because we are running curbside service, we will be closing our libraries to the public about an hour before close to allow for cleaning and allow to handle all the material that's come back and to prepare for the following day. So in technicality, we will be open for public service during all of our regular hours. What we're going to be doing with the curbside, which we are now going to be calling Curbside Plus, starting Monday, we are moving to a slightly different variation of our opening called Curbside Plus. And what we will do is provide curbside service from our opening hours in the morning at 9 o'clock until dark. And then after dark, we will meet people at our front doors and be happy to exchange material with them. We've been allowing people to come in and browse for the last few weeks, but because of the number of cases and because of the increasing risks that we're running, we've decided to back that off a little bit. But because we have so many people that need the computing power that the library offers, we're going to allow people to come into the library to do self-mediated computer work. We had over 10,000 different unique customers in the last 7 weeks check out a computer in one of our facilities. And that's including time where we were closed due to ice storms and power outages and other things. They checked out the computer over 35,000 times. So we have a huge community that we serve that really depends on that technology power. So our Curbside Plus is going to be more than just what Curbside was, which was just we bring your books to you on the curbside, but you will also be able to come in and use the computers. Now, by doing that, we're going to be closing down the last hour of the day from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. and not letting people in the building or doing that curbside delivery. So technically we're providing public service, but we may be in slight issue with the policy because it says we're supposed to be open until 9 p.m. So I wanted to let the board know that. And I want to thank Chris and Sharice for bringing that to my attention.
Okay, Judy? Oh, sorry, Judy, you got to come to the microphone. No, Judy, they can't hear you on Zoom. It's not me trying to be mean today. Oh, come on, we want to hear you. Okay, come on, Judy. You have a great question, so come on. Yeah, I'm sure. It's okay. Grace during COVID.
When does this start?
This starts on Monday morning, this coming Monday. And we've already started the advertising campaign, the marketing campaign to let people know. We've already worked through and developed signs for our front doors. We've already worked out a marketing campaign to let the planet know. We're doing press releases and also sending out invitations for coverage from the local media so that we can convey this in as many ways as possible to as many parts of our community as possible.
Super, thank you.
Did you wipe it down, Judy? I didn't, I was like, okay, thank you, Judy. Thank you, Judy. Okay.
And otherwise, I'm happy to entertain any questions you may have from my report.
Questions for Larry?
As you can see, we're a very busy place.
Larry, once again, I apologize for skipping over. I was listening and I skipped number 7 and I was just used to you talking. I just thought that, sorry.
No
Okay.
worries.
The next item now is 8.1, comments from commission members. Anyone have anything? Okay. Well, I've already texted our mayor during our meeting today to see what can happen, and I would encourage you to send a note to the governor and your legislator. I would just like to do a shout out, Jennifer. Oh, Jennifer, sorry. Now, Jennifer. Bye, Nancy. While Jennifer's coming up, we got to do a shout out to our
Thank
IT
you.
department, Larry, Maria, and Nita. You don't know how many hours they have put in to make this happen today. So can we give a big clap to all those people? Thank you so much. There are a lot of moving parts, right? We've got Matt in the back, and we've got people that helped us do the Zoom thingy and then just making this happen.
Mhm.
So, oh my gosh, thank you so
This-
much.
This has predominantly been Anita and Maria activity.
And IT.
They deserve all the credit.
Yep,
And the
and
IT.
our IT department. Thank you, thank you.
All I want
Okay.
to know is, do you have a better email than just the governor's website?
I bet we can find that out. Is there anyone in here that knows the specific email?
For the governor or the mayor?
Okay, I was going to text Mayor Holt, actually. You have the governor's cell? Well, come on up, let's get it. Oh, you spoke up, Mac. Yeah, I know. I'm messing with you. Okay, while we wait, it might be, if I don't hear back from him before we adjourn, we'll send that out to you all.
But this is the best Zoom meeting I've been in all year long.
Are you trying to kiss up to me now, Mac? Oh, yes, you do. Thanks. It's my fourth today, so. Good. Well, thank you, Mac. That's very sweet. You know, I make a great pecan pie, and I have fresh pecans I just picked up too. Okay, you want to come to the microphone, because that would be good data too, how many calls he gets.
Yeah, there's been a lot of pressure on the governor to make the change, but he has been resistant to it.
Yep.
And the legislature would have to come back for special session, which
Right.
they have no appetite for at this point. So unless there's some sort of public pressure campaign, we're going to be meeting like this until there's some sort of change.
Okay.
Now, this is just a main number that I have for the governor's office. It's not like his private anything, but it's 405-521-2342.
Okay.
What?
Oh, Penny asked for the number to be repeated.
405-521-2342. That's just the governor's office. You're not going to get, you're not getting a straight line to him. There, that's just his office.
Okay, anyone else have anything for the good of the cause today? Our next meeting is December 10th. That just makes my heart kind of jump up, right? We'll be back here again, 3:30. And you guys, I really appreciate you all being here. It takes 14 for us to have a quorum. So for you all to be here and for us to have 15, it's just really amazing. So thank you. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear your mask, socially distance. We'll see you in a month. Bye-bye. And we're adjourned.